You
Oh,
go, girl.
no. I think it's live. Well, hello and welcome tonight. Oh my goodness, it's technology. Technology is in the forefront now and forevermore. And we have a lady with us tonight that's going to absolutely wow you with her technological skills, her awareness, and her love for it. And when I meet a woman who loves technology, I'm all in because you guys know me. I am Joy Ruffin, signature style specialist, professional speaker, and the creator of Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies. Women who are in their second act, regardless to age, hire me to help them erase the struggle of styling themselves and spending way too much money. One of the things that we do here with Leading Ladies is we find out and we talk to ladies who lead, who have gone through some type of transformation, internal and external, who are going to share their journeys with you. That's the intent and the purpose of the show. So I want you to help me to welcome our guest tonight. Her name is Michelle Calloway.
Hey,
Michelle,
hi.
hey, how are you?
I'm so excited to be here, Joy. I'm so sorry I blurted it out there.
No excuses ever on my end or yours. I am honored and delighted to have you because everyone in my audience, they know technology, they smirk and they smile with love and they say, oh my goodness. So I am honored to have you here because I know that you are known as a tech queen. So tell me, what is the work that you do with technology?
Okay, well, this is my why actually. I didn't come into technology because I grew up always loving technology. I am actually more visual communication minded. So I started out in the graphic design industry. So I'm really all about visual like aesthetics, like what is attractive aesthetically. And I think that kind of jives with what you're doing. And I just noticed you and I are both wearing like jade. I think that's such a beautiful color. Um, anyway, I got my start as a graphic designer, and then I owned my own graphic design agency for a little bit. So I kind of started tasting that whole entrepreneurial like vibe, first
Yes.
one in my family, and then I was introduced to a technology that literally grabbed hold of me so hard that I couldn't sleep for 2 whole weeks. And I really believed this was a calling because I'm very faith based, and I was asking God to show me after I was widowed, what is it you want me to do with my life? Like, what is my purpose? And
Yeah.
so um, he introduced me to a technology that makes physical objects come alive with virtual content. So it's like a blend of physical world and digital world all at once. And you're having like this wonderful, like interactive experience that is not otherwise possible if it weren't for technology. And if you want, I can demonstrate what that looks like.
Well, I find that fascinating. I didn't know that you had that much background based on the bio that you gave me in graphics, but yet I can see where graphics would fit really great with someone who's deep into technology. I love it, but it's not my strong suit. So let me ask you, how does it fit? How did it fit for you? And that pivotal moment when you realized, oh my God, this is for me. What was the signal? What was the key that gave you that?
Well, when I couldn't sleep for 2 whole weeks, I knew I was being called to it. I didn't understand why. So I went ahead and I started diving in. You know, when you know that you're called to do something and it won't let go. And as soon as I succumbed and said, okay, I'll learn as much as I can about this. I don't know why, but I was able to sleep after that. So I started developing my very first prototype, believe it or not. So I went from just being a graphic designer to now being a technology founder, right? And then
Yeah.
I had built all these different use cases to try and make it practical and useful for people. But it wasn't until this one young lady came into my office that
Mm.
said that she loved the fact that I can make physical objects come alive with like a virtual message, and she wanted to send one to her boyfriend who is now deployed overseas in the military, Joy. And
Ah.
she missed him so much, and she could not wait to like share her love with him in a way that like really made him feel that she was right there with him. So we went ahead and created this beautiful greeting card. Do you see that?
I love and miss
I
you.
love and miss you. We have her beautiful face on the card, but this isn't an ordinary card. This card is an interactive card. So let me show you what this looked like when he saw it come alive. He
Yes,
downloaded the free app. Let's see if I can get this in the frame here.
yes, we see it. Uh-huh. It's
And
clear.
And when the phone went over it, see how it comes alive with her?
Yes. Now, you live and you learn, and it's wonderful, this whole learning life experience. Is that predominantly what you're doing now? Because I know you're working a lot with small businesses, helping them to develop and grow and expand. How did that come about?
Well, that's the journey, right? You always start somewhere and then the journey takes you. It's been an amazing ride and it still is, Joey. I love and have so much passion for what I do because I'm really feeling like I'm making a difference.
Yes.
So after I saw his reaction to her card, I knew that I needed to create an application that everybody could afford and everybody could easily understand how to use. And so I wanted grandparents using it, I wanted children using it, and I wanted to make it affordable. So that's how Revealio, which means to reveal something magically, was birthed. Then I created a business application for it. So you can make business cards come alive with your virtual message. It can be a personalized card, message on one side, and more of a business-centric message on the other, right? So you have this walking, talking, interactive card that we all carry with us. So when I was out there demonstrating this amazing new interactive technology to business owners, they're all just like, "Oh my gosh, I've never seen anything like it before." But then at the same time, they would say, "I am so overwhelmed by technology. I cannot even keep up. Man, I didn't even know something like this exists. What else am I missing? Oh my goodness, I'm struggling with technology." So I actually had a vision that I needed to step up into a leadership role. And that's when I created the Tech with Heart Network,
I love the
which is
name.
now I have the nonprofit Tech with Heart Foundation, which I'm so delighted because now I can bring a team of volunteers in to help me. And what our goal is with this foundation, Tech with Heart Foundation, is to empower entrepreneurs to be successful and competitive in a digital era by helping them to embrace technology in a way that obviously helps their business be efficient with systems and different technologies that are going to set them apart because we need that competitive edge. But also, how can we use that technology to enhance our human relationships with one another, because we cannot forsake our need for one another. Even as technology gets more and more automated, we need to make sure we're using it right.
Oh,
So that's my
absolutely. You listen. I'm going to tell you what someone told me once, and then someone's going to say, "Well, that's your responsibility." You're not promoting, or when your bio came to me, because we just met more or less, and I did a little bit of research, but I didn't get all of this food for thought that you're sharing with us tonight. You are really a female trailblazer. You are the queen of tech, but you're also a great agent of change. And all of these wonderful women that I look for, you have embodied them all. I say bravo and good for you. And I hear the passion. I see the passion. I feel the passion. And now you're starting to do this with the younger generation. I just think it's fantastic. Fantastic. And yet you're also combining this with branding. So how are you blending those together?
So when we mentioned earlier that you can use it as a business tool, you can make
Yeah,
your business card come alive. So your brand is very important. You have these business cards.
right.
Online, you have your digital business card, more or less. You should be making sure that you have continuity throughout all of your mediums, whether
Yes.
it be materials that you print out and mail out. And that's what I love so much about augmented reality, which is this technology that I was showing you, is that it makes printed marketing materials relevant again. I mean, no longer do you have to just rely on the solid 2D printed material. You can now send a promotional piece in the mail and connect with people. Like last month, I'm showing you, this is July. So last month, in the month of June, I sent some cards out to people that for Kindness Week that basically said this: "You're all kinds of amazing." On the inside, there was a message on one side, but then on this side, there's a photo of Jerry and I. And
Yes.
and we use this as a business tool too, because we want to let them know that we love them and we care about them, their customers or their affiliates or their partners or just good friends, right? But when the app is put over the image, we sing to them.
Is love, sweet love.
So that was a business use case of this technology in this world that we live in, where everything's digital, digital, digital. But I do want to help business owners stand out online as well. So that's why we've adopted a lot of this, like helping them understand how to get their social media brand set up properly, and then also how they can get some publicity. They can do a tremendous amount of publicity free of charge, but we can also help them with that. We can help them with their digital systems, like their digital marketing or their website design or a mobile application, for instance.
Well, Michelle, now more than ever before, obviously it was very powerful before, but now in this quarantine lockdown, how we're all sequestered, and especially businesses, all types of businesses are hurting. This is monumental in so many ways, so many ways. Do you work with any particular all types of business, or do you have 2 or 3 particular businesses that you work with? Tell us a little bit about the businesses that you're working with so that those who are tuning in will say, I need her, because that's the whole purpose of the show, is to have people listen here live and for the replay and then connect with you. So tell us a little bit about that.
I'm always actually looking for partners. I'm looking for partners who have tribes, essentially, that you need to stand out and be different and differentiate themselves online, offline, and just essentially that are forward thinking. I guess that's kind of like the personality trait I'm looking for. Somebody who's more forward thinking, is ready and willing and able to adapt some new concepts and new ways to doing things, because whether you're doing it online or whether you're doing it offline, you have to be different and you have to be authentic and you have to be able to convey some sort of an excitement, engaging experience that's going to leave a memorable impression. So we help you do that online. Like I was just talking to you, Joy, I'm thinking of starting a mastermind so that people can pick my brain, because I'm very innovative and I come up with some really great technologies that are actually out there that I didn't have to develop, that I can teach, but it's more about how we use those technologies. I think that's really where I excel. And so, when it comes to being online, there's all kinds of things you can do that's free. Like, get involved with sharing who you are and your story. And the way you do that is something as simple as a Facebook Live. Let's get on a Facebook Live as often as you can throughout the week. Share a little bit about what you're working on and get people excited about what you're getting ready to launch. Let them support you. People want to support you.
People want to help, Michelle. This we learned a long, long time ago. But what I like about what you're sharing with us, Michelle, today, in this time that we're in right here and now, which is none of us have ever gone through anything like this. So financially, no matter how you're situated, you're looking for the freebies. You're looking for the things that are inexpensive, but yet you want the quality. And that's what you're going to be offering. I think that's phenomenal. I think that's fantastic. And you have decided to do this. Have you set a date and time, or you'll be promoting it, I'm sure, but is it just percolating in your mind here and now, or have you decided?
Well, right now, because I just launched the nonprofit.
Oh.
Yeah, so I launched the nonprofit, and so I'm trying to get that off the ground, because believe it or not, there's a lot of major technology companies like Google, for instance. If you start up a nonprofit, you can actually gain $10,000 of ad spend from Google every month. So I'm working really hard on getting my Tech with Heart Foundation website up and running, and I'm getting teams set up so that we can be successful in that arena and build out that model a little bit. So I may be pushing towards the fall when I start offering this mastermind, and it's going to be about marketing technologies.
Good timing. You have already shared with us some tips, because you had said a couple of tips, good tips that you could leave us with that could help to promote us and our brand. So you shared a couple with us. Or do you have other tips that you'd like to share with the audience here and now?
Yes, absolutely. If you don't forsake email marketing, some people think that email marketing is dead. Don't forsake writing. Writing good content, you can put it on your website's blog, and then you can also use that same content to send an email out to your list and engage them. And you can also use versions of that blog post and make multiple different social media posts about it. So content really still is king, and video is one of the top contents that you should be using out there to attract attention. And when you're using video, because people are more attracted to movement, then you just want to make sure you're using the appropriate hashtags that will draw people in from all different worlds based upon your topics. So like if we were talking today about social media, or
Yeah.
we were talking today about online visibility or credibility or just digital marketing, you'd make sure you hashtag those words to attract people in. And of course, every time you create a video, you can upload it to your YouTube. So when you're doing YouTube, you can also do a tremendous amount of keywords association, and you can even do some really inexpensive YouTube advertising. That's one of the ways that I'm using YouTube right now, is to drive views on some of my videos, because obviously those videos are going to lead to an offer somewhere. You really want to set up a lead capture, because how wasteful is it for you to just be referring people out to things and not capturing their name and their email or some way of that. So I don't think you should forsake email completely, but I know there are technologies that should, like on my, a lot of us are using ManyChat because it works so cohesively with Facebook, and so that you can capture people's information that way as well. But then you market to them through ManyChat, since you have them through that system. So email marketing is not dead. And Aweber is one of my favorites, because Aweber is coming out with some phenomenal tools.
I don't think that email is dead either. And I love what you said about email. It's not dead. And I don't think it's ever going to die, really, even with video being the king and the queen right here and now. Yet how you combine them and utilize them together can be very, very powerful. With my limited knowing, I know that. And I love the way you express to us. Now, Facebook and YouTube and promoting. Some people say Facebook is number one. We're not going to knock one or the other. It all depends on your market, right? Or does it?
It does have a lot to do with your market. Like email marketing to a younger audience is probably not going to be as effective as text marketing, or what was the other way? My brain just went blank a little bit.
Repurposing or
my audience is not necessarily young people, but we do need to make sure that we are approaching them on platforms that they're spending their time on. So Facebook would not be a great place to market to young people. They're not on Facebook.
and you're right. Your point is so well made as far as emails for young people, because I find that if it's a young person, if you don't text them, you don't hear back from them. And that's okay. Millennium, whoever, whatever. It's all right, because I like blending the old with the new. And that's why I'm saying that I don't think email is going to die out. It's just going to alter and change, because how you merge the two, the old and the new together, the old school and the new, that's an art. And that's what you've done. You've done it not even thinking about it. You just did it. I think it's fantastic. I think it's marvelous. What's one of the best tips that you can give for a newbie? Because you know what, Michelle, these difficult, hard times that we're in, for most all of us, regardless to how we're dealing with it, most who are online and working online will continue to work online, but a lot of new people will come into the fold now because of the job market being what it is. What is a good tip that you can share with somebody who's new coming into this arena here and now?
Well, I can't express to you how important it actually is to take the time, figure out who you are and what you want to represent. What your culture of your company, or you, if it's just you're promoting, there's a culture involved, and you need to identify what that is. And then you need to create a branding around that. It's not, branding isn't just a logo, and it's not just a color scheme. There's a whole lot more to it, because once you understand who you are and what you're going to go out and what you're going to pursue and how you want people to perceive you, then when you go and you start doing Facebook lives, or you start doing more video content, or you start doing more emails, there's going to be a consistent brand around all of those things, and it's going to feel to the world, because you can be out there on Facebook, you can be on YouTube, you can be on Google, you can be on all these different platforms promoting your brand, and people will feel like, wow, this person's, the more out there you are. And that's why I think publicity is such a really big deal, because then you can say, as featured on ABC, CBS, and it makes you look so much more credible. Because I can guarantee you, Joy, if I were to just go and type in Joy Ruffin and find out that you do like personal branding and use style and fashion and all that you're going to have a tremendous amount of competitors, right? So what is going to set Joy apart from others? Well, is it because she has a podcast? Is it because she has a TV show? Wow, that sure makes me feel like, oh my goodness, she's doing some amazing things. But you see that Joy's got her branding. She's got her branding right here, right now. We're broadcasting live on Facebook, and she's got her branding all over it. So Michelle, well done, Joy.
Well done. Thank you. I appreciate that. And let me just say this to you, because you mentioned something there. None of us are happy about this time frame that we're all in. We're in the thick of it. But you mentioned something that all of us have to get to know ourselves, love ourselves, and truly understand ourselves. And with that, I'm going to ask you for just a brief moment. I want to share something with the audience, and I'll be right back with you. I cannot tell you how phenomenal this information is. I'm hoping that you're enjoying it as well. Let me extend an invitation to you. Leading ladies, leaving legacies. I'd like to invite you to come and to join with me because you would be a welcome addition. It's all about extending and growing into your best self. Oprah coined it, but it applies to all of us. And what I'd like for you to do is just go to my Facebook business page and ask to join the group. There you'd be welcome, you'd be embraced, and there's a lot in the hopper that I'm going to be sharing with you very, very soon. It's all about how you show up and how you present. And you, if you're new to online anything, that's where we're going to really be able to support and to aid and to assist you. And now I'm going to go back and ask Michelle. Michelle, tell me, when it comes to, you mentioned and you ended somewhat with style, if you go and you Google me and whatever, what does style means different things to different people, and even branding. And I like what you said about your branding, your colors and all of that. It has something to do, but not as much as a lot of people put stock into for who and what they're about. So how important is your style and your branding to who and what you are and what you're doing?
Well, I think it's super important for you to acknowledge that whether you're a business or whether you are just a solopreneur or a corporation, you, as the leader of your company,
yes,
need to have an identity of your own. So that's what they call a personal brand. And you need to be showing up, and you need to be showing up well, meaning that you don't want to be. I know that there's a lot of tech founders out there, especially in Silicon Valley, because they're all young and they're like in their 20s and they just show up in a white t-shirt and jeans. Okay, so if that is their persona, then that is their persona. But for those of us who want to attract big money makers, we need to be like dressing to attract those types of investors. We want to make people feel confident that we know what the heck we are. We're presenting ourselves professionally at all times. When you are on camera at all times, you need to be presenting yourself professionally. If you are hot and you're wearing a spaghetti strap top with your bra strap showing and your hair and makeup's not quite right, I mean, come on, that's going to be out there for forever. The one thing about video is that it can be speaking for you while you're sleeping. So let it represent you well. Just pay attention to some few things. Lighting, you make sure your audio is good. Make sure your posture is good. You notice I'm not slouching.
No.
Yes, you need to sit up straight. You need to be up front, like like you're talking to somebody.
Michelle,
you
are preaching to the choir, because here's what I want to leave you with, and I want you to think about it. If you start to peek, you'll see it. The casual, super casual, with just where it's sloppy and a little bit messy, it's slowly disappearing. People, women especially, are beginning to dress a wee bit better. Not dress like that back in the day, but presenting themselves in a wee bit better manner. Their impression, the memorable one that they want to leave, they're being more mindful about it. I feel it, I sense it, I see it. So you're spot on about that. When you speak to how you show up, which is the expression that I love, it matters. It matters. And even those who have built a humongous tribe or circle of people, they might be able to come on and just be all whatever. But you and I can't do that. Not really. Not if you want to build and be an influencer and be a leader that's impactful, that's inspirational to other people. So I love what you're saying. Yes, indeed.
I think it has a lot to do with your mentality. It affects your mentality. Like my husband, he's my business partner.
Yes.
He's the president of our company, and he's not been feeling so well. But I need him to do a video, and I need him to do some voiceover work. So he's studying his script while he's not feeling well. And he says that when he is ready to do that recording, he's going to put on the suit, even if he's just doing a voiceover, because it affects him mentally. It really helps you to show up and feel and present yourself way more professionally mentally.
It is. And you know what? That's the other key word that I'm very fond of, professional. And professional doesn't mean you have to have on a suit and tie and you got to be to the nines. Back in the day, my Southern background, dressed to the nines. I'm sure you've heard that expression. Well, those days are kind of gone, but you want to be a professional. And a professional can have on jeans and a t-shirt, but the way, we could go on and on about this. But let me ask you this. How and what are you planning? You mentioned the mastermind that you're thinking about down the road, maybe in late fall, early fall. What else would you like to leave the audience with? Something that they can utilize and use. I'm going to put up your name, your email, and your website if they want to connect with you. But what is something that's powerful that you want to, this is your website that's up now, that you want to leave them with? Because we're in a very difficult and trying time, Michelle. And you and I are floating through, but a lot of people are really having a very difficult time. So, what do you want to say to those who come maybe and tune in, and maybe they're not sure about which direction they want to go and what they want to do online? You mentioned it before, but how would you resolve that for them here and now?
Well, one of the places that I would warmly welcome anybody who's just getting started or any small business owner who's just struggling a little bit with technology, because
Hmm.
you need to embrace technology in order to survive. It's just an absolute fact. It's not a want anymore. It's an absolute must.
So
So we have the Tech with Heart Network. You can find us on Facebook. Join our Tech with Heart Network group. And what we do in that group is we try to share systems and ideas and tips and just build a community of heart-centered individuals who tend to be a little bit more forward thinking, but
yeah,
also understand the value of human connection. But we are all trying to grow together. We're embracing technology together. I do expert interviews, and I'm going to be starting to offer more and more workshops and trainings and tutorials. So please go to Tech with Heart Network on Facebook and join that group. Also join the page and ask questions, share what you're working on, share what you're doing, and let us come alongside you and support you any way we can on this journey.
I love that. That's a great way to end too, because what you're doing is phenomenal in so many ways, and you're doing it with such heart and such passion. You and I are connected in a group that's absolutely fantastic, and we'll talk about that at another time. But may I say to you that it has been my pleasure. Time flies here. It goes very, very quickly. I'm going to ask you to step into the green room, and I'll be there with you in a second or two to share some thoughts with you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Joy. God bless.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Ah, is she not a marvel? Listen, all of you know by now that when it comes to women and women who are in technology and understand it and love it and have passion and heart for it, like Michelle does, I work every way that I can to get close to them because it's not my strong suit, but I want it to be. Let me say this to you. It is our time, meaning for women. This is not denying anyone, but it's time for women to rise, connect, and unite together. Extending this invitation to you again to join Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies, Living Legacies. Because here we're embracing female leadership, trailblazers, heart centered leadership, as Michelle spoke to, and purpose driven women, agents of change. These are the women we look for because these are the women who are going to lead us into wherever it is that we're going into the future. And the future, even though now it might look very dire, it's going to be bright. It's just going to be different. The new normal is a new expression. Let me say thank you for being here. You're always welcome here. And we look forward to seeing you here every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock when we will bring you a leading lady, leaving legacies to share her journey, her transformation with you. And your invitation is to connect with her, to join with her. That's the intent, to meet and connect with each other and make a circle of women who are united and connected together to rise. You be and stay well. Take care. All the best. Enjoy the rest of the week and the weekend. And I look forward to seeing you again next Friday, same time. Oh, how about next Wednesday? Same time, same station. So long for now. Cheers.